Hello, I'm Declan Harvey. We know more tonight about how Catholic families were intimidated out of their homes earlier this summer. It happened in the same set of streets in North Belfast where in the past few days other homes have been attacked, with police saying the motive was racism. The area in the Lower Old Park consists of relatively new builds, but in May, the sectarian attacks involved windows being smashed and threats of petrol bombs. This morning, a meeting of organisations including police, the housing executive and local representatives was held. Most agreed there's a lot of work to be done. And I want to warn you, there is some strong language in this first report by Kevin Sharkey.
The comforting arm of a sister for a victim of sectarian abuse. And tears.
Like 3 weeks ago, the kids were threatened in the park by adults. Says if it didn't get out of the park, they were going to trail them out.
The family moved into their home in this new development at the end of last November. In May, when other Catholic families living here were threatened and had their homes attacked, the family decided to stay on. But in recent weeks, things changed, and the family has now moved from their brand new home in this development. The young mother says she was subjected to sectarian abuse and describes the nature of the offensive sectarian language.
And then when I went out to see what was happening, the fella verbally abused me, shouting at me, "You fiending bastard," and all this here, and your kids shouldn't be in the park. We won't be allowed to go in the Ardouin park, which is nothing to do with me. And then he was going to headbutt me, and it was just like a big squealing match, and the kids were all standing squealing in the street. And then it ended up there was more of them, and then my sisters and my mummy and all was there. And the man, he slapped my arm at one stage, my bracelet flew off. And it was just all just shouting and telling me to get out. And then there was a threat made, apparently pipe bombs were going through the window if we didn't leave.
For your house?
Yep. So I just left that night, and then I had nowhere else to go. Only were friends and family for over 2 weeks. Had all my bags of clothes in the boot of the car. And then I got temporary accommodation there just on Friday. A 2-bed flat, which was me and 4 kids in, so it's squishy.
This latest revelation comes just days after a number of nearby homes were the target of racist attacks. Today, politicians and community leaders were joined by the PSNI at a special meeting to discuss the ongoing crisis.
This is something that the police are assuring us today and outside of today that they are taken very seriously. It's quite clear that if there are criminal elements in communities that are loyalist communities, then they need to be faced down and they need to have consequences brought to their door. If that is at an organised paramilitary level on the loyalist side, then again that needs to be called out, and I think the people that are best placed to do that is the PSNI themselves.
A DUP councillor left the meeting without speaking to the media, but all contributions at the meeting were described as constructive.
It's quite clear from what we heard of what has been going on in the community that there is a lot of work behind the scenes, and the vast majority of people in North Belfast want to live peacefully and together amongst their neighbours.
But while solutions are being sought, one young mother is trying to find answers for her bewildered children.
It's terrible. I didn't think 2025 this would all be still happening. My kids are traumatised because of it, and they didn't have a clue about what's Catholic, what's Protestants. It's not to their knowledge about any of it. So it's really impacted namings too, and they're asking questions, what's the difference and all this now, where I never told them any different.
Kevin Sharkey with that report. Well, meanwhile, a landlord has revealed he contacted police over fears for his safety 10 days before this arson attack on his property. Sam Carson has been renting houses outside Ballymena to tenants who are foreign nationals, but he says he began to fear for his safety when his name and address were shared online by people opposed to migration. Marie McCann has this story.
This was the scene on Sunday night when vehicles belonging to Filipino workers and their landlord were set alight. And this is the aftermath. The tenants who work for Rightbus have lived and worked here for 2 years, and at the weekend feared for their lives in what police say was a racist hate crime.
We're not illegal. We work here with papers and everything. We pay tax and we pay everything, and that's all. Please don't attack Filipino.
Some people in Ballymena do not like foreign nationals, even though they're good working people. They don't understand that, and I think a lot of the responsibility is on the campaign on TikTok that was to do with the protests in Ballymena, targeting people, and we have found ourselves targeted here. Our lives are in danger here. Is the house going to be burnt? Social media has a real problem with misinformation, and the fact that anybody can use and post on social media and use anonymous comments, and there seems to be nothing the police can do.
Sam said he told police 10 days ago that his name and address were shared online, but that they couldn't do anything. They told us they received a report on the 21st of August and they are making inquiries to determine if any offences have been committed.
Well, clearly it's very worrying that people were posting the address of Sam and these Filipino residents. I think it is important that the police do respond very quickly when that sort of thing goes online. But of course they do have very limited resources now. They're vastly under-resourced. They're becoming very reactive in how they respond to things, and the Chief Constable's appealed for more resources urgently. But I'm happy to sit down with Sam, review the information that the police had, and make my own assessment of whether there was an opportunity here to take initial action.
Since the riots in Ballymena in June, there are examples where landlords have been targeted by a small number of people online. Sam said politicians need to try and tone down racial tensions.
I've been clear all along. Violence is wrong, violence has always been wrong, and violence will be wrong in the future. So I have no concerns about my position in this, and anything that I have said throughout the summer of arrest here in Ballymena, that those that are involved in violence, please stop, because you're distracting people from the real issues that exist here in this town.
Sam has this message for those responsible.
Obviously I'd like those people to stop, but it's very difficult to make people with such hatred in their hearts change.
Maria McCann reporting. We're still following